My name's Gavin Elder and I'm a filmmaker. I didn't really study film, but I always had an interest in photography and video as well. And I used to make videos of friends and holidays, and then I started making music videos for some friends that were in bands. So my first interaction with camera and performers was definitely through music and music videos. One of the first opportunities to work with South African artists was when I did the first videos for the Springbok Nude Girls. And that really sort of cemented my interest and fascination with working with musicians. After that, I moved to Tokyo and lived in Japan for 2 years. And it was there that I had a call from a friend saying, Duran Duran are coming to Tokyo and they need somebody to film their visit. And so I met with the manager and she said, we need you to film them for 4 days and then give us the footage and we're off. I spent the next 4 days traveling around Japan with Duran Duran. Then at the end of those 4 days, they were getting ready to leave, and that night before I'd put together a short edit, the highlights of what I thought had really captured their visit to Japan. And I showed it to the band and the manager, and they said, look, tomorrow morning we're leaving to go to Los Angeles, will you come with us? And 13 years later, I'm still working with them. And that then led to working with numerous international musical artists on different levels, from doing behind-the-scenes documentary work, on the tour, on-the-road documentaries, and then more recently actually concert direction of live concerts as well. So initially my work with Duran Duran was documenting behind the scenes, and that started in Japan and then went on to the States, and we did some tours around the United States. My relationship with the band then developed, and I was asked to create videos for live screen projections. So I was doing some of the stage videos for their performances. I started doing some photography for them. I was assisting on music videos for them. And then a couple of years ago they asked me to direct their live DVD. So we put a crew together and we shot a film for them, a concert film in Manchester. And with that, there was a behind-the-scenes documentary as well. So in that way, I'm combining the documentary side with actually the performance side as well. And when you film a band in a live context, the band are very exposed, so they really have to feel comfortable that the people that are filming the show really are sympathetic to the performance and have an understanding of what the band want to try and project. And I think because I'd worked with them for such a long time, they had that comfort and that confidence, which meant they can just focus on the performance and just really focus on the audience and giving the audience the best show they can. And we're there really just to capture those moments, and that's when you get the best result. I'm always looking for a new way of putting across an idea. Even everyday life, I think, influences things. The way I see perhaps some clouds moving, I think, right, that could work as an opening sequence for something. More recently, I've been making films with fine artists, people like Brett Murray. I made a film about his recent sculpture, Citizen, which was installed in Johannesburg. I'm working with Shepard Fairey on a wall that he's painting in Johannesburg soon. I've been working with the French artist Ludo. I'm editing some footage for a show that he's having in London. I worked with Lisa Grobler recently on a project she was working on for Nando's called the Accidental Art Project. So, as well as music, I've started collaborating with artists, and I think that's an interesting direction and a stimulating environment for me to be working in.
That light out there is 93 million miles away.
I had a call from David Lynch's producer to work on this project for Dom Perignon, which essentially was David Lynch spending 2 days in the studio experimenting with the bottle, experimenting with smoke and fire, the elements essentially, to try and capture the sense of experimentation. And we put a microphone on him for 2 days and recorded everything he said. And it really is, it gives you an insight into his mind almost, the way he thinks, the way he visualizes things, and the way he surrounds himself with a fantastic crew. And everybody, it's quite a collaborative approach. With him sort of really pushing the envelope, pushing the ideas, wanting to continually try new things.
I'd like to see a rhinoceros.
For me, the most exciting thing is the fact that the internet has sort of democratized the channels for distribution. So the days of the big broadcast corporations being in charge of everything being in charge of the content and what we get to see are over.
How does a man get to the top of a mountain? You gotta climb. Sometimes that's difficult.
So my films can reach really diverse audiences and really niche audiences as well. You can do things that don't necessarily have to have a big audience, but it's a niche audience, which I think that's really interesting. It doesn't always have to be about numbers. It can be about creative ideas, and even if 2 or 3 people are watching it, if they're enjoying it, then you've connected with someone.